It's the deadliest commercial plane crash in the United States in more than 15 years. 60 passengers and 4 crew members on the American Airlines regional flight and 3 soldiers on board the Black Hawk helicopter. There were no survivors. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Brennan Gurley. Top government officials and everyday Americans are all wondering tonight how this happened, especially right outside the nation's capital. 67 people were killed in that deadly midair collision. And while there's a lot to sort through, let's start with what we know. American Airlines Flight 5342 took off from Wichita at 5:18 Central Time. Nearly 3 hours later at 8:15 Eastern Time, the plane began its descent from 37,000 feet. About 30 minutes later, the Army Black Hawk helicopter collided with the airliner over the Potomac. Quote, "Tower, did you see that?" cracked over the radio. Rescue crews were in the water by 8:58 p.m., just 10 minutes later, battling 42-degree temperatures. Within minutes, DC Fire confirmed an aircraft down. By 10:09, the FAA announced they were investigating the collision. Homeland Security rushed Coast Guard resources to the scene, while American CEO confirmed the passenger count. NTSB investigators arrived after midnight, and the investigation into what happened began. By dawn, the fire chief declared the rescue mission a recovery operation, declaring no survivors. As the search and rescue efforts continue, top officials are starting their investigations. It's important to note the president just appointed a new head of the FAA today. Former FAA Administrator Mike Whitaker resigned on Trump's inauguration day just 10 days ago. And just a few hours ago, Trump signed an executive order to roll back on DEI programs and the FAA repeating without evidence that those are to blame. CBS's Erica Brown has the latest.
CCTV captured the moment when an Army Black Hawk helicopter collided with an American Airlines regional jet as it prepared to land at Reagan National Airport last night.
At this point, we don't believe there are any survivors from this accident.
The National Transportation Safety Board is leading the investigation into how the collision occurred.
We have not recovered the flight data recorders yet. We know they're there. They are underwater.
President Trump appeared in the briefing room requesting a moment of silence for the victims.
We are one family, and today we are all heartbroken. We're all searching for answers.
He then quickly pointed a finger at the previous administration's hiring practices.
The FAA is actively recruiting workers who suffer severe intellectual disabilities, psychiatric problems, and other mental and physical conditions under a diversity and inclusion hiring initiative.
Democrats pushed back.
For the President of the United States to throw out idle speculation as bodies are still being recovered and families still being notified, it just turns your stomach.
Flights have resumed here at Reagan National Airport after they were paused for nearly 14 hours, though several hundred were canceled and others delayed.
American Eagle Flight 5342 originated in Wichita, Kansas, where a prayer service was held Thursday.
But the only way that we will get through this is together.
Officials say flight conditions were clear Wednesday night. Erica Brown, CBS News, Arlington, Virginia.
CBS News has confirmed one air traffic control worker was managing the helicopters and planes, a job normally done by 2 people. This is a developing news story as we follow throughout the night. We encourage you to stick with us through CBS Evening News, and you can also find the latest updates on CBS19.tv.